Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Green Shield webinar. And this is the September edition of the Green Shield webinar. It is themed safety and productivity. So today, we'll be looking at how we can align our safety goals and business goals. We'll see how we can strike a balance. Most businesses, their main purpose is to make profit, right? And this webinar will look at how we can balance the equation. We want to achieve safety and still maintain our business goals, which is to make profit. So how do we align these two? So today here with me, we have two speakers. By the way, my name is Kelechi, and I'll be your host for today, as always. Yes. So with me are two speakers who are very, very intellectual, highly intellectual, yes, in the area, in safety area. They have achieved so many things, and I can bet you that today we'll all go home with something tangible, something very tangible. And with me are Mr. Micah Olawiyi. He is a safety professional for Dangote Cement. And we also have Mr. Lukman. Mr. Lukman is also a seasoned safety professional, and he works with British American Tobacco. So we'll have to take a few minutes break to enable other attendees to join us. And before we go on the break, please, we'd like to have a safety check. Kindly look around you for any object that is not where it's supposed to be, and check for electrical wires if they are currently plugged in, and also look out for harmful objects around you and ensure you are well seated. Check your sitting position. Are you seated in the right position and all that? So please, let's have a safety check. Look around you for any harmful objects and ensure you move them far from you. Check your electrical wires as well, while we wait for other attendees to join us. All right, we are back. Good morning, everybody, once again. You're welcome to the Green Shield webinar, and it is themed safety and productivity. We'll be looking at how we align safety goals with business goals. Like I said earlier, our businesses has goals, and the goals are usually or mainly to make profits. And today we'll be looking at how we'll strike the balance. As much as we want to maintain safety, we also want our businesses to grow. And some business owners sees taking safety serious as waste of money. I've seen some organizations like that. I've been to some organizations like that, and I heard one saying it's a waste of money to venture into safety. And seriously, it's an issue that ought to be discussed. How do we align safety goals and still maintain the business goals without having to clash, So today with me are two seasoned HSC professionals. They'll be taking us on this topic, and I'm sure we'll learn one or two things from them this morning. I have my pen and my paper ready to learn. So I implore all of us to do the same. Like I said earlier, my name is Kelechi, and I'm your host for today. Our speakers are Mr. Micah Olawiyi. He is the HSC professional, and he works with Dangote Cement. We also have Mr. Lukman Akintunde. He is also a HSC professional, and he works with British American Tobacco. They'll both be taking us on topics that will deal with the theme for today. Before we commence, there are people I would like to appreciate. They are our returning attendees. Yes, let me use the word returning. Our regular webinar attendees. They attend our webinars regularly, like back to back to back. I would like to appreciate your presence here, Mr. Simon, Mr. Enna Mududu, Mrs. Miriam from Just Right, Mr. Charles Obino from Siscon, Mr. James Ayuba, Mr. Enna Mududu, Mrs. Miriam, and Mrs. Nika. I think I'm seeing this name again. Nika. Thank you very much. I'm really glad to have you all on board. It's actually an exciting thing to see you guys joining us again. And I'm so pleased to have you here. And I'm sure this won't be a disappointing moment. It will be an enlightening one as always. Also, companies that attend our webinars, not one person from the company. Sometimes we'll have like 3 people, 4 people from one organization. And we really need to appreciate these people. We have AGL, we have Dangote Sugar, we have Siscon, we have British American Tobacco. I'm so pleased to have you here. It's actually an honor to have invited attendees, and they come in mass. It's actually an honor, and we are really grateful. We are not going to take this for granted. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning. All right, so we'll go into the webinar proper. We'll introduce our first speaker. We'll bring up our first speaker, Mr. Micah Olawuyi, and he will take us on his topic this morning. Please sit back and let us hear from him. Mr. Micah, are you ready for us this morning?
I think I am. Good morning, Kelechi, and
Good morning, sir.
all the attendees.
Good morning, sir. So good to have you here this morning.
Same here.
Yes, so we are ready to hear from you, sir. We are geared up, ready to learn.
Okay. Hope we'll learn from each other today.
Of course.
Well, Kelechi has said a lot about safety and maximizing profit. Of course, somebody who sets up a company has something in his mind. He wants to get profit. He wants to gain traction in the market. He wants people to recognize the company and then get value for his money as well. Many of us might be familiar with the game of chess. Now, we have different offices in chess. We have the king, the most important piece on the chessboard. We have the queen, we have the knight, we have the bishop, and we have the towers. Yes, one piece is missing. It might look insignificant because we call them pawns. Let's say they are not the strongest piece on the chessboard. But just picture it in your mind that you are seeing a pawn with a safety helmet against his opponent, standing guard that whoever comes, I will make sure it doesn't pass where I am standing. Well, we say it's not the strongest piece. But do you know that someone might miscalculate? And then once that opponent miscalculates, what happens? That pawn could be either the beginning of his downfall or even the end of his downfall. Imagine a pawn checkmating a king. Of course, I'm sure the opponents wouldn't be happy. Now, why did we go to the chessboard? It emphasizes something. See, safety is not just a rule book. Just like chess, we have so many books on chess, but it has a principle. So it is a mindset. You know where you're going to, but you need to play the game right. Otherwise, what you're guarding against will eventually happen, and with the slightest mistake. So we need to be prepared. We need to remember that we have an individual responsibility. We also need to remember that we cannot work alone. We need to work as a team. Okay, now let's go to a real life experience. I may not be mentioning the name of the company or the name of the persons, but we will learn from this experience or this scenario. A company in the United States, in Santa Fe, to be precise, in 2012, where someone, a worker, a 62-year-old worker, let's say we call him Mr. X. This is a plant where they make tuna. We know tuna fish. What happened? He went inside an industrial oven, about 35 foot long, to carry out a maintenance job. Now, it might have been that he always does this. But on that very day, what happened? Another of his colleagues, unknown to him that someone is inside that oven, loaded the oven with about 10,000 kg of tuna and closed the oven. Well, the tuna will cook. Yes, you guessed right. Mr. Xavier also cooked with the tuna. What do you think must have happened? Where did they get it wrong? Let us consider some of these questions together. The first question is, what safety procedures do you think were missing or ignored in this incident? Yes, Lototo is not there. Lockout, tag out, and try out. Communication or hazard awareness. Meaning, if they had put this in place, most likely this accident or this incident wouldn't have happened. What would they have done to prevent this? A simple checklist for this kind of maintenance job would have helped them avert this problem. Okay, what do I need to do? I want to do a maintenance inside this oven. Okay, do I have my PPEs? Do I need a permit to work? Have I gotten it? And this checklist outlines everything you need to do before you carry out that task. I always tell people, checklists will never forget, but our brain might forget. So when you have a checklist, you have that paper, it will not change with time, except the document is being reviewed. So every time you pick it, you read the same thing, and then you check and tick the boxes. How about body systems? Meaning, if we consider that industrial oven as a confined space, one thing we should know that in a confined space, it is wrong to work alone. It is wrong to work alone. Then the third one, signages. There are no signages. Either to say a maintenance is going on or always check for this before you do this. There is nothing to communicate. Now, let us ask this question again. Who do you think is responsible for safety in the workplace? The managers or the workers? Yes, if you say the managers, you are correct. If you say the workers, you are also correct. But we need to understand that they both have a shared responsibility. If you want to build a proactive culture of safety, you need to understand that both the worker and the management have a role to play. Now, ask yourself, have you ever witnessed a situation where somebody decided to take a shortcut? What happened? Or what could have happened? Just play your mind back to that scenario where you saw somebody taking a shortcut. Something bad might have happened. Now, this is another question for us. As a safety professional, let's say you are in the field and you notice that somebody is entering a hazardous place without the PPE. what would you do? Yes, as a safety professional, you say I have the obligation to tell that person or to stop that person from going into that area without his complete PPE. What if you're not a safety professional? Will you say, well, it's not my job. If he wants to die, let him die? Of course not. We need to understand that we need to speak up. Here where I work, we have this slogan, see something, say something. But it doesn't end there. You have to do something also. And then, as a worker, you are responsible for at least 4 persons. Who are these 4 people? Aside from yourself, whoever is in front of you, whoever is by your left, whoever is by your right, and whoever is behind you, you are responsible for them. And now, if each of these 4 persons also have that sense of responsibility, that who is in my front, who is behind me, who is by my left and by my right, I also have that responsibility. Do you think we will have accident and incident in the workplace? Of course, it will have been reduced to the barest minimum. Now, why do we say safety is a strategic business asset? Well, like we said earlier, you set up a company, you have a goal in mind, you want to produce, and then you want to get profit. You provide employment. Now, you are employing people, and your greatest asset or your biggest capital should be where? On your employees, because they are the most valuable resource. If they are not there, that job will not move. Even if you are getting robots, somebody has to do what? Prompt them. So, first thing a company needs to understand is it needs to protect its employees. And once you ensure that your employees are safe, what happens? Oh, I'm sorry, you can move to the next slide. I think I'm just talking and talking and talking. Okay, thank you. So it shows to the general public, it shows to the workforce that what? That the company has commitment to our well-being. That will boost morale. It will boost your productivity. If a worker is coming to work in the morning and understands that as I'm going to work, my employer understands that he needs to keep me safe. He has put everything in place to keep me safe. All the PPEs I need are there. I receive trainings regularly. Everybody in the plant or in the workplace understands what they need to do to ensure safety of the environment. Now, do you know that if we have accidents, injuries in an organization and it becomes frequent, what do you think happens to the morale of the workers? Our people are not even ensuring our safety. It will increase the turnover rate of the staff. People will tend to start running away. Where are they going to? To a company where they feel safe and secured. And what is the company losing? The company will lose a great asset. That person leaving might have been a very valuable person to the team. Now, when it's gone, you need to go through the stress of hiring another person. You need to go through the stress of training that person. And these are things that we'll see as what? Hidden costs to the company. Now, when you now say, as a company, you want to put safety second, you will have a big problem. Yes, we always say safety first, safety first. But when companies continue to say safety first and forget that it should be safety always, meaning safety should be the core value, there is going to be a big issue because there are hidden costs to what? To neglecting safety. Let us go back to that real life scenario. Now, what happened to that company? They paid to Mr. Xavier about $1.5 million. That is to the family because Mr. Xavier lost his life. So they have to pay, maybe the company sued, they have to pay for damages, they have to pay some other things to ensure that the family is okay. Then you go to fines and legal costs. The government will come. You will get lawyers to defend yourself as much as you can. Then when the government also makes their investigation and see that certain things are not in place, then you start to pay for fines, and you need to make sure that those things are put in place. They pay about another $1.5 million. Now, another thing they did was they needed to replace some of their ovens. Why? Because they are now out of place. Because one of the things they identified during their investigation is the ovens are becoming outdated. There was no safety interlock. Maybe if there was a safety interlock, meaning when someone is inside, the oven cannot come on. But these are not there. So they needed to change this. They spent another $3 million. In total, that's about $6 million. We don't know how big the company is, but removing $6 million from anyone's investment now, if that business doesn't crumble, it will only survive by the grace of God. So, if they had put in place those things we mentioned earlier, okay, permit to work, your checklist, your lockout, tag out, test out or try out procedures, communication and hazard communication, and the likes, maybe they would have only spent $1 million or even less. But telling a company at that time that you want to spend $1 million on safety, they will not see it as important. But what we are saying now is, you are not seeing it as important now, but if you don't do it, it becomes a problem for you later. These are hidden costs. You cannot prepare for it. You cannot budget for this, because when they come, you start to spend as it goes. So it is better for us to make sure that we have safety systems in place. Let us spend little money on putting safety systems in place than spending money in rectifying it. So we want to build a proactive culture. We don't want to be reactive. Spend money on trainings. Spend money on risk assessments. Spend money on audits, third-party audits, so that what your eyes don't see, third parties will see it. Because something you see every time, you become used to it. But when you invite someone from outside who doesn't think the way you are, because he has not been seeing what you are seeing over the years, then he has a different perspective to what is in your workplace. Then you can make amends. One of my bosses will say, the essence of auditors coming to the plant is not just to tell us what we are not doing right. And then once they leave, we now still go back to what we are doing. Of course, you need to correct these things. When you correct them and you do what is right, then you will also be able to sleep better at night. If you have trained all your staff, you have given them what they need to be safety cautious. You as a manager or the owner of the business, when you go to sleep, you are not thinking of, I hope something bad will not happen. Because you are sure that the people you left in the workplace are fully equipped, either with their knowledge, their ability, the trainings they have received, and the experience they have over the years. So, we do not want to neglect safety. Another area that you cannot quantify until it happens is that there is going to be downtime. You know, when an incident happens, you have to set up an investigating committee. Now, maybe 3, 4, or 5 persons will no longer be doing their routine jobs. They want to carry out investigation. The staff also, their morale will do what? It will drop. How did this happen to this person? If he had done this, if the company had provided this. So instead of them giving their 100%, what do? They give whatever they can. Why? Because we have not done the right thing as a business. How about our clients? A company who does not value its workers, do you think the clients they are relating with will also value them? Of course not. And then we gradually begin to lose traction in the market. That profit we would have gotten maybe 70 or 100%, we are now getting 20 or 30%. So it shows how important it is also to have safety or to understand safety as an asset, not just a strategic business asset. You need to spend on it. Once you spend on safety, it is there. It does not go down. You build that culture, people who are coming in will come in to meet that culture, and then you continue to build them too. Now, we want to continue to focus on that proactive safety culture. Many companies today are on the reactive side, but we need to be on the proactive side. Like we have seen from that example, if you don't think ahead, you will have problems. Look at chess also. If you don't think 2 or 3 steps ahead of your opponent is already thinking of how to checkmate you. They are looking for loopholes. Accidents will not give a written warning. I am coming next tomorrow by so time. If we all have this information, of course, we'll be prepared for it. But we are always prepared as safety professionals. And now we need to help our team understand that too. We need to do a cost analysis. You know your workplace very well. You talk to your management. Of course, you need to get the management's commitment. You talk to your management. This is the value we get if we invest in safety. But if we don't, and something happens, this is how much we might be spending, because you cannot quantify it. When you are reactive, you cannot quantify it. Those costs will continue to come. Now, some companies, because they increase their the way they put into safety, what has happened to them? They have reduced their incident and accident rates to about 40%. Now, we can also sell this to our management. Our management may know, or we may assume they know, but yes, they don't want to do it. But when you tell them and show them, give them proof that this is what needs to be done right, then they will be in tune with us, because they also want to save costs. They want to keep their face in the market. They do not want to lose their customers. They don't want fines, litigations. No. They also don't want to have a bad name in the market. Imagine you own a company and people start saying, that company that somebody died 2 months ago, died again this month. Is that where you want to go and work? You see, you put out a job post and nobody is willing to come. Why? Because the safety culture is poor. If we invest in safety, we will see substantial results. It might not be immediately, or you might not see them like this, but in the end, maybe at the end of your financial year, or if you have times, or maybe quarterly, monthly, to check what are those things that you have been able to save, the cost, man hours, injuries that you've been able to save since or because you have spent and also invested in safety. So, how do we gain from understanding safety as a strategic business asset? 2 major ways. 1, financially, and 2nd, operationally, or from our productivity. Because we are saving costs, hidden costs that would have come from neglecting safety, we have been able to save them. And as well, operationally, because we have boosted the morale of our workers. There are no downtimes. We don't have lost time injuries where somebody is out of work and then our spot is now open and nobody is feeling that. So these are ways we see that can assist us to view it as a strategic business asset. Now, lastly, we talk about this point, that safety, like we said, is not just a rule book. It's more than compliance requirement. It has to be a mindset. It should be there with you. You don't need somebody to tell you to be safe first before you are safe. Because if it is not there in your mind, if you don't understand what safety is, like some persons will say that safety is common sense. Yes, safety is common sense, but sometimes sense is not even common. So, what are we saying in essence? Individually, collectively, we want to be a safety advocate. Not just that is what they said we should do. No, that is not what we want. That is not how we achieve a proactive safety culture. We need to understand that I myself am a safety manager. The management also needs to understand that individually and as a team, they are the safety managers of their team. They are the safety managers of themselves. In our workplace, we want to encourage open communication, proper reporting. Now, some persons feel that when they report an incident, not an accident now, an incident, something that might have caused injury, when they report this, it could make it look as if they are not safety conscious. But no, the H triangle helps us understand that if we have so many reports at the base of that triangle, we will be able to reduce what is going to come next. If we report unsafe act and unsafe conditions, if, let's say we report 300,000, we'll be able to minimize to 30,000 near misses. Then we also reduce injuries. And then in the end, we will be able to eliminate fatalities. So the more reports we have at the base, the better for us to have a green at the top of our triangle. So we need to encourage open communication. We need to encourage our team to participate in training. We need to also, as managers, learn to lead by example. Don't say, when you are going out, always remember to put on your helmet. And you, as the team lead, when you are going out, your helmet is in your office. So what do you think they will also do when they are going out? After all, my guy did not go with helmet. Nothing will happen. So, there is this saying too. They say, if you think safety is expensive, try what? Try an accident. Then you know which one is more expensive. So, we have said a lot. We have also seen how we can have a good and proactive safety culture and how this helps us reduce the cost, because we are going to save financially and we are going to boost our operations too. So, this is where I would like to draw the curtain on my own topic. Don't know if there are questions, comments from attendees.
Thank you, Mr. Micah Olawi, for this enlightening session. I must say that I've picked one or two things here this morning that I'm going to keep running with. Okay, if you are just joining us, you're welcome to the Green Shield webinar, and it is themed Safety and Productivity, Aligning Safety Goals with Business Goals. And we just heard from Mr. Michael Olawi from Dangote Cement. And our next speaker will be Mr. Lukman Akintode. Before we bring up Mr. Lukman, if you have questions, please hold on. After the second speaker, we'll have our question and answer section at the end of it. So if you have your questions, don't worry. You can just drop them at the question and answer box. Then towards the end of the second section, we would go over the questions and provide answers to them. So, like I said, if you're just joining us, you are highly welcomed. And my name is Kelechi for Green Shield Safety. We just heard from Mr. Micah from Dangote Cement, and our next speaker is Mr. Lukman Akintunde from British American Tobacco. So, Mr. Lukman, are you ready for us this morning, sir?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready for
good
that. Good
morning.
morning.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Lukman. The floor is yours, and we'll be glad to hear from you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. And thanks to Mr. Micah for taking us through that wonderful presentation. It's always a great one to have opportunity to discuss around business goals aligning with safety practices because of the peculiarity we find ourselves in, the kind of environment we operate, and the level of maturity when it comes to aligning productivity with safety. And we always want to have a lot of change makers that can continue to impart their businesses across function to ensure that the business is safe to run, because what we want to have in every organization is safe production, not production without safety. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Okay. So for today, like I explained, safety and productivity, one of the two words or one of the two conversation that's always have a lot of back and forth in the industry because of the kind of operations that we run, the risks that we are getting exposed to, and business leaders' goals that they want to achieve in ensuring that their investment is giving them the right quality of return that is going to ensure that their business can thrive and succeed without being myopic. So first of all, let's look at what the agenda will look like. So we look at the introduction of the business case for safety, defining safety and productivity, the safety culture and safety culture model, cost of poor safety, benefit of aligning with safety, business goals with safety, safety goals and business metrics. We look at leadership engagement and communication and how we can motivate the teams with regards to safety culture and measuring the successes, how to track our success and how we are faring when it comes to uh, the safety goals. And also, lastly, we'll be looking at the conclusion and call to action on this regard. So this is just to understand the strategic link between safety and business results, like Kelechi have mentioned before. Identify leadership roles in promoting the safety culture, excuse me, and apply effective communication strategies for safety leadership, and also explore practical examples of leadership safety action. And by the end of this conversation, I believe we should be able to apply these 6 key objectives in our various business entity. So I'll go to the first one, which is the business case. How do we define the business case to ensure that you are not just talking about the core operation without the backbone that can ensure that the operation goes on and continue to be sustainable, which is the case of safety. And safety has always been defined in terms of business case as is not just a compliance, it is a strategic enabler of productivity and profitability. And like we all know, like always say whenever I'm having this kind of conversation, is one as a safety professional, as a leader, as someone who wants to be a change maker in business entity, you should be able to speak the language of the leaders that you want to promote or you want to present safety culture, safety system to, because the language they understand are 2 key: productivity and profitability. Should be able to link safety to productivity and the business profitability. That will ensure that they give you a listening here and they look at the opportunity to ensure that they implement. I would say organization with strong safety cultures experience fewer disruption, lower costs, and higher employee engagement. Mr. Micah mentioned earlier when he was making some examples around how employee morals increases and how history images are being portrayed to new hires. And when you hear about employee that their name is synonymous to accident, would you want to join that kind of organization? The answer would be no, because there is no sane person in the world that want to put their life in line because of uh, some amount of remuneration the organization will be giving to them. So this is why we need to ensure that we have the right business case to deliver to the leaders. Because when you are in their meeting, what are they discussing? They want to discuss their OEE, they want to discuss their SLE, system line efficiency, was the downtime, was this, was that, and your safety KPI, they just look through it, because most times people are not being able to present or justify the right business case for safety to drive the business productivity and profitability. So it is very key that whenever you are asked in 5 seconds, you should be able to present a business case. And these 2 key statements can give you an open door to ensure that you give them the holistic approach to it. Because no leaders will hear about enabler of productivity and profitability and will not listen to you. Not just a bogus, we are going to have reduced accidents. Yes, it's key factor. It's key factor, but what is it attached to? If you have zero accident, what does it mean? If you have lower consumer complaint or community complaint, what does it mean? That is part of the business case that needs to be uh, get across to the business leader. So the next agenda is to define safety and productivity. What does that mean? You know, I mentioned earlier that they are very related. You can't do one out of others. Gone are the days during the first industrial revolution that people works in sec in organizations that care less, carefree around the safety of their employees. What they just do, they replace the workers. So now there are strategic prognosing. People are now interested. Employees are now interested before they join you to ensure that they are not making the bad decision or the wrong decision. Is a residue for what a disaster to happen, and not only on the person, but also on the business productivity. And we define productivity as the efficiency of production measured by output. Is it balance? Is it offsets? And interconnection of safety and productivity. Safe environment fosters focus, reduce downtime, and improve performance. So these we'll be analyzing, we'll be looking into more later in the slide, because every organization that have been able to align business objectives via safety goals always have a tremendous improvement that improve the focus, reduce the downtime. I had an experience where we had a leadership summit, and they were explaining previous issues. What can we do better to drive the business? What can we do better? These are the number of issues we had the last time. The equipment are not running fine. How do we define the opportunities? And people were giving contributions, and I raised up my hand. And I based my contribution around 5S methodologies. How we can use as simple as we think it is, one of the key elements of lean manufacturing, which is 5S methodology, to improve the efficiency of the operation. So how do we do that? Yeah, we lay down the 5S, and everybody was wowed, because what they know about 5S is cleaning, removing dust, removing this, marking out. That's what the majority have as perception of 5S. But it goes beyond that. It goes into equipment management, tools management, efficiency on reducing wastes, a lot of wastes across the operation. So I was able to showcase how the trend can be removed just using these 5S. So these are the way we can interconnect safety into productivity. So in our organization, we must have been, everybody will be talking about safety culture, safety culture. We have different cadre of safety culture. I want you, before you present anything to the management, as part of what will be your business case, you need to define the level of your safety culture in your organization. What level are you, right? What level are you, and what is the justification that says that you are at this level? So it is very critical to know where you are sitting. That is when you'll be able to know how to provide the right solution and how to define your problem to get the right solution, then follow up with the right implementation. So if you don't know where you are, no matter how you present it, it might get rejected, pushed back, and no action. So we have 5 KIDA. We call it Hudson ladder. It shows the level of safety culture in organization. And the first one around is pathological. If your culture is pathological, it means who cares as long as we are not caught. Everybody is scared, nobody cares, right? Just go ahead, do whatever you want to do, and move on. In as much as you just maybe pray that nothing bad happen, or just take your chance. Okay, we have been doing it before, nothing goes wrong. Okay, let's just do it. And we have the second level, which is reactive. Yeah, we see safety as important, but we do a lot every time we have an accident. So you only do when you have accident. So you always learn from accident, right? So if that is when you, how your organization operates, know that you are on reactive level, which means anytime accident happen, everybody starts running up and down. Let's do this, let's do that. Once time fades away, that is the end. We now have the one in the middle, right? We have calculative way. We have system in place to manage your asset. We calculate. We don't do holistic approach. We put one leg on reactive, we put one leg on proactive. We want to like stage manage asset, not implementing the right controls. You want to manage it, stage manage. Okay, in sustainability, we call it greenwashing. You want to greenwash everything to make it look like you are doing everything fine, everything is flying. Those are the calculative level. We now have proactive. In many cases, you see, uh, if you ask people, what level do you want to get to? Say, proactive, proactive. Yes, proactive. Yes, proactive is good, but there is higher ground than proactive, right? And safety leadership and values drive continuous improvement. Yes, you have been able to put a lot of things in place, but you have to always drive it. You have to always drive it. Like you just you have the right values, you have the controls, you have the right process, you have this, but one thing is lost. You have to continue to push. You have to continue to push, which means the moment you stop pushing, you started receding. You move to calculative, then go back to reactive, then go back to pathological, which is proactive, fine, but you need something more, right? We need something more. A lot of organizations are very few are even on proactive. Many, a lot of many are between reactive and calculative stage managing. We now have the highest one, which is generative. Generative is this is how we do things here, right? Everybody is just that's just how everybody behave. You don't have to be pushing people around. Come and do this, report this, do this. People just act like that. They just feel this is how we should be doing things. This is our culture. As it's being displayed, you see, it is our culture, how we do business around there. So I'm not pursuing any process lead. I'm not pursuing, then it is in their primary PO, pers- uh, their personal objectives. As they are setting their objective of the year, they are putting directly the safety objectives or EHS objective directly into their POs to ensure that they are tracking it and ensure that they themselves know the impact of not doing the being exhibiting a culture of EHS or HSE. So, and that kind of organization, we call them HRO, high reliability organization. So once you get to that level, you become an HRO. You are an high reliability organization. I can count with my finger the number of HROs we have in Nigeria on top of my finger, if we actually have. So that is the environment, that is the level we find ourselves. So the next one is to look at how culture how culture reduces injury rate. This is a safety culture model, right? We have dependent, we have independent, we have interdependent, right? On dependent, say safety is the responsibility of management, and we have little employee involvement, which means your injury rates will be very high. In the independent, people act on their own, people work alone. I can prevent my own injury. Increase employee, just have moderate involvement of employee. You really don't care much about it. But when you have everyone believing, I can prevent my colleague from being injured, meaning everyone is taking responsibility for anything, everything they see that is going wrong, their action, they are looking at their action, what it can impact, the consequence of taking the right decision. And we have 100% employee involvement. That is interdependent, and it is always the best, because you have your injury rate, incidents, uh, a lot of motivation comes from this, and you get to have a better business image. So, why do you need to align business goals with safety objectives? Why? Because the cost of poor safety is very expensive. Very expensive. Very expensive. Mr. Micah mentioned earlier, taking example from companies paying fines in $1 million. We have seen companies that are paying fines, and that was the end of their journey in the industry, right? And we have seen companies that do not pay fine. They were just sanctioned in terms of restructuring, shut down for a particular period of time until they get the right uh, environment, and the regulators are able to give them go ahead, you can continue to operate now. They have already created a bad image to themselves, and this can make them to go under. Firstly, lost productivity due to incident. Yes, once any form of accidents happen, you have to stop. If someone lost their hand on the machine, these are reportable incidents. Once you report it, you have from Ministry of Labor, they come and check the area, because they come and do their own investigation, and the shutting down of that space, you have lost the production for that period. Amount of money. When I'm doing justification, to any business leader, I put money, I put costs. I don't, the way I write it here, loss of product, no, I don't put it like this. We attach money. What will be the cost if someone have an injury by so in this particular area? What's the output of this operation if it's shut down for 24 hours? How much are you paying these people per hour? What is the cost of the material? What is the cost of the power that has been consumed? Put value on it, then relate it to them that this is what it will cost you. That is aside from the final. This is what it will cost you if something like this happen on our side. So this speaks to them better than just writing in words, low productivity. Yes, there are some, even there are some uh, individual action that will cause low productivity also. Increase insurance premiums by law, by some standards, you are to get your employees insured, get your operations insured. A lot of insurance goes on. An insurance company that came to assess your organization, when they assess you and see what could possibly happen, they will charge you more. Or they will tell you, no, we cannot bear this. However, we can bear this if you can pay so amount of money, which is going to be big, huge amount of fee, because they know that there is an accident waiting to happen. It has not happened yet, but it's going to happen. If it has been happening, they know more will still happen. So they will want to charge you more. Legal liabilities and fines. Community can sue you. People who are related to your employees can sue you. Some of us have been to court, not because we have personal issue with anybody, but because former or ex-employee, communities, NGOs, government agencies, regulators are suing the company based on perceived wrongdoing, and you have to go there and define and expose, put your number out, prove your points, how you have been keeping the environment safe for the employees that are working. Now imagine the time I'm supposed to dedicate to carry out another activity. I have to we set up committee that manage all these things, pay legal fees, employ external lawyers, employing expert consultants. Look at all this because of one incident. So these are some of the costs you pay for poor safety culture. Damage to reputation and employee morale. If you are synonymous to a poor or bad safety culture organization, your reputation is going to be terrible right there. There is an organization that anytime we see road traffic accident that has to do with big truck, even if it's not their own truck, the name people have given to it will be the organization's name because of the experience people have had in the rampant road traffic accident. So this has created a reputational damage, creates a bad perception of them in terms of being responsible for all their safety culture. So um, the next one is the benefits of aligning safety with business goals. Reduce operational risk. You have opportunity to quickly reduce the operational risk. When you have equipment that are working with open guards, no risk assessment, no contractor management, nobody's monitoring anything, it means anything can happen anytime. People are not well trained. Nobody's looking at how to control any form of risk, which comes because of what? Poor safety. So by aligning to the good safety culture, good safety goals, good safety objectives, we are going to be improving this. Cost savings and efficiency. Employee morale give proves their performance. What does that mean? It means they give in their best. They become better when they feel safe, right? They will make minimal errors. So there will be a reduction in your wastage on the line. Cost savings from fines, from unnecessary cost on an accident, injured victim, unplanned budgets that you have to spend because you want to do corrective actions. So you have enough time to plan, mitigate the risks, put in the control. In case of any unfortunate circumstances, you already have an ERP in place to quickly mitigate, control, and recover back to operation. Enhance employee engagement from morale, from internally and externally. You get to see employee that want to join your organization because of their culture in terms of safety. Improved brand reputation. Improved brand reputation. Employees, especially the Gen Z now, they want where it is good. Their loyalty is give me good, I did good. If you throw what is not good at me, it means what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be staying here for long, or I'm not joining you at all. They don't have that patience that you are going to change. No, people who consume your products, right? Forget about the quality, the packaging, your image in terms of safety culture, accidents happening, you are always in the news for the wrong reasons. People will link it to your products that people that cannot manage their safety culture, that cannot manage their environment, how are we sure that even this product they are producing is of good quality, it is reliable, and is good for use or is good for consumption? How do we know? Because that's the way people put it. Say simple safety culture they cannot manage. So how do they manage? How would they manage this? So it's very important for us to understand this. Safety goals and business metrics. We have safety goals, we have business metrics, and both of them they work like in line. Some of the key goals that you can keep are zero harm. In my organization, we have what we call zero loss journey, which means you see that we did not say we want to achieve zero. I don't know if you there is difference between the two. I want to achieve a zero, saying I'm on a zero loss journey. It is a journey, it's not a destination, which means by the time you attain that zero you want to attain, now you started recording zero lagging indicators. It means you have to maintain it. That's why it's not a destination. It's a journey. You have to maintain it, continue the journey to maintain it, improve one or two things, always looking for opportunity to improve so that you can maintain the zero. Near means reporting, safety training, completion, incident rate. These are the goals that you can use, right? Because when people have the right training, the right capability, they make informed decision. They don't guess. They don't guess to talk. They don't guess to act. They don't guess to support their team. They have the clear understanding of the consequence of their action. When people don't know the consequence of their action, they tend to like, okay, wish me luck, and they hurt. So For the business, operational efficiency, when you implement 5S and you reduce some waste, right? You can improve the time that is used to intervene when there is downtime, right? So you have to track all this. You know, we say safety goal, business metrics. This is business metrics. We are aligning them together. So you have to be tracking this. This is what you use as a signal to the business that by implementing this kind of program, people now have direct access to where their tools supposed to be. They have the needed required tools. There is difference between providing tools and having the required tools. Not that somebody is having a tool that they cannot use. It is useless. People start moving around, motion will waste and all that. Return on investment, right? Return on investment, you link it. You can also link it from operation efficiency, right? We usually have complaint of about this number in the previous years, and this has reduced, which means our perception. Return on investment is not only around monetary. Good image is return on investment, right? Improvement in retain employees, employee retention, being number one for job seekers. These are return on investment because your overhead, your downtime, your what do they call it? People leaving retention period of employee don't want to leave. There are some organization that their employee don't want to leave. It's not that they do not have others that want to poach them. They don't want to leave them. They will say, this is where I am. This is where I'm going to live all my careers. And to surprise you, some of these organizations, they have bigger organizations. I was I was in a conversation this morning on one of the social media, and somebody was pitching an organization that has the value of, let's say, 50% or 70% value of another organization. You could imagine me having 50% my value of my organization, and I'm coaching the team that is having times two of my size. And when I poach them, they are able to join the team and they don't want to return back to where they are coming from. So these are return on investment. Employee satisfaction also return on investment, because if employee is not satisfied, they leave. You start another process. You start another process, time, resources to recruit another person. You train the person again. The person starts to get familiarized with the time, with the environment before they can now say, okay, I'm fully on board. Look at all the time. So this is a key metrics for the business. So I always like to add this, right? And when you align business goals with safety objectives, you need to address one thing as that is always an enabler to at-risk behavior. It's always an enabler to at-risk behavior. So why do you need to address it? Because it can become a bottleneck for you when you deploy a safety program. And you have three types why people carry out at-risk behavior. Why does at-risk behavior occur? Number one, we have enabled behavior. Enabled behavior means that employees has been given the right resources, the right equipment, the right tool, they are given, you have been enabled, provided for to carry out delegated tasks, your primary assignment, but you choose to act, to exhibit at-risk behavior. So that is one. The second one is non-enabled, right? Non-enabled is you want employee to behave in a certain way, but you do not give them the right resources for them to carry out that, to be able to effect that SOP you have given them. Do not use screwdriver as chisel, but there is no chisel. What do you expect them to use? They will use screwdriver because that is what is available. People will always say when the preferable is not available, the available becomes the preferable. So if you do not provide what they need, what is available is what they will be using, right? So we have the third leg, which is difficult behavior. Difficult behavior is people have to go extra miles, extra length before they execute, before they act be safely. People have to go extra miles. And for example, let's say you provide me a safety boot, and you now said every time I wear this safety boot, I have to go to another location to clean, wash it. Every time I pass through the corridor, I go and clean, wash it every time. Or you provided the stairs, and it's also a way, a place that somebody who is carrying debt used to pass, and the place is always dirty. That said, it is compulsory for you to use handrail, and you must clean the handrail before you use it because it is dirty. People will not use it because it has become difficult for them to use. So this is very, very key and very important. And how safety drives productivity: mention fewer disruption, higher employee morale, streamline operations. I put a case study, which is one of the achievements we have had in our own operation. Is we achieved over 4 years. The last celebration we had was we achieved 0 LTI in 4 years operation. If you do not have a good structure in terms of safety culture, you cannot deliver this kind of feat. So building a safety culture is a good business investment. How do you engage the leadership? How does leadership engage the team? How do they show that we are part of the process? We want this to be our culture. Number one is lead by example. Number two, communicate the safety vision. Let them know where we want to be. This is where we are. This is where we want to be. Empower them. Give them what they need that can make them to do what? To act, to exhibit that safety culture. Allocate resources, right? Some people will say, we have empowered though. But if someone says, because we do not have the right PPE, we are not going to work, that will be, you will say there is consequence to it. That's not empowerment. Empowerment should give them the power of stop work authority. It's not safe, so we cannot do it. And there shouldn't be any back and forth around it. Allocate resources, stay informed. So, leadership communication strategies: have open dialogues with the team, regular briefings, get their feedback mechanism, storytelling to reinforce safety. Don't just pull the SOPs. Give them the story around it. Let them see it. Let them watch the videos. Use the experience from other locations. Play the videos to them. Let them see what is happening, the consequence of their action. Transparent reporting of safety data. Don't deceive yourself. Don't greenwash. So people say, let's package it. Sometimes ago, I was having a conversation with the vendor because of an incident. And he said, this should not call for reporting now. You know how we do it now. Say, pardon? You know how we do what? Edition, we should not, we should, you know what I'm talking about. And I escalated it. That this kind of partners, we don't want them. So it's as simple as that. Consistent messaging across channels, awareness, communicates, retrain, refresh people, put signages, let people be saying it daily basis so that they will be able to, as they are saying it, they understand. When people see things constantly, they will be able to what? Continue to assimilate and get refreshed. So these are just the example of what the leaders can show to show example that they are leading by example. Conduct safety works, inspection, go around, do the recognize them. Let them know that you are seeing what they are doing. And when you achieve a milestone, celebrate so that people will we uh we have planned to go on. So motivating the teams, set clear safety goals, involve employees in planning, use gamification and challenges. We used to use quiz, challenge people. Yeah, no, top three, top four, top this. Let them challenge them. It gives them boost their morale and ensure that they participate. Share success story, where we are coming from, this is where we are, and people will get along easily with this. Provide growth opportunities. These are the opportunities, real opportunities. So this, I think this year, I would like to end it here. Kelechi, are you still with me?
Yes, I am here. Here with you, sir.
Okay. So I don't know if we have any questions.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Lukman, for this enlightening session. Trust me, we have jotted some things down and we have a few questions that we would like to ask. Before we go into that, if you're just joining us, you're welcome to the Green Shield webinar. And my name is Kelechi. We've had two speakers so far, Mr. Micah, although he's currently not here right now. He quickly went to attend to an emergency. And we just heard from Mr. Lukman Aki today from British American Tobacco. So we'll go into the question and answer section right now. We have a question here at the question box that says, is safety only for big companies? Of course. All right. So this person would like to know if safety is for big companies alone. As we have other smaller companies coming up, and this person wants to know if safety culture is meant for just the big companies without the smaller ones.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the question. The safety system, management system is not even only for company, it's for all of us, even at your house, right? Let's say 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it should be 4 or 3 weeks ago, I had a session. It was an informal, we have informal sector,
Mhm.
small scale, medium scale guys that are still coming up. And one of my professional colleagues share a voice note with me, and the owner was talking about how he wants to move his business to the level that is dreaming big. And he now recommended that to improve the performance and productivity of your guys, let them have a QHSE training. I'm telling you, this is an informal sector kind of thing. I went there. 99% of the people, let me say, all the participants, all the person's employees understand Yoruba. And I took them a training on QHSSE in Yoruba. So it's not for small only, it's not for big only, it is for everybody. And the best bet is start small. Don't rush. Assess what you are capable of doing. Put adequate control in place. Then, excuse me, start growing. You saw the ladder I presented earlier in the slide. You can grow through the ladder. Start small, start going. Because if you say you want to move from pathological, then go to generative, I don't think a small scale company has the money to move that fast. But the best bet you can do is start small. Look at the low hanging fruits that you can quickly put in place and that will have a big impact. That is what we call Pareto analysis. What are the 20% that can give you 80% impact, right? You look at that key 20% that will give you the 80% impact. So if you use this kind of tool, you'll be able to implement the right safety culture or HSA culture systems into your organization, whether small or big. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We have another question here that says, what criteria is used to measure a company's safety culture to determine if it's reactive, calculative, and so on and so forth? So, what criteria do we use to measure the safety culture?
Okay. So I don't know whether the person just joined or it was not there when I was presenting the Hudson ladder.
Yeah.
So I explained some of the criteria. For pathological, the criteria is that when you look at your environment, what is happening, nobody cares, right? Nobody talks about anything safety. Nobody even try to correct anybody on anything. You are just working. That's pathological. You are just working. Some people you just say they employ you. The following day you resume. You'll be the one to be asking, please, am I not supposed? If some people don't know they are supposed to give them PPE. You'll be like, that's common PPE. And say, where am I working? They say, follow Mr. Lukman to that this thing. We'll show you what you want to do. Okay. They don't report. There is no record of you are reporting any incident or they don't track anything. That's complete, but that's the lowest. Zero safety culture. Reactive is when accident now happen, you now see, you start calling meeting, calling this, let's talk to our people, let's talk to this, that is after accident has happened. That is reactive. For calculative, you have a system in place, right? But you are now stage managing. What do you mean by stage managing? Okay, you are reporting. You don't close on time. You say this near miss happened. They report this hazard. You now started calculate, okay, if you close this one, it's going to cost money. Instead of doing it this way, why not do something else that is not effective? Over time, we'll adjust, right? Or you want people to be wearing safety boots. You did not procure, but you procure, you now say, one safety boot, a very bad safety boot, very bad safety boot. You do not care whether they wear it or not. But the day you hear you have a regulator is coming, you now start telling everybody, you must wear this tomorrow. You must wear. If you do not wear this, you'll be sacked. If you not use this, you will sack. If you misbehave, you will sack. That's calculative. You are managing it. It's not that you don't have system. You have a bit of system in place, right? You are reporting hazard. Yes, we know. You are issuing safety boot. We know, right? But you don't show that kind of enforcement follow through. You just provide, whether you use it or not is not your problem. When they report it, people are not using the PPE you provided, nothing is done. But the day you hear you want to have visitor or head of somewhere is coming, you start calling everybody, please, so make sure you wear this, so, or you say, no, you don't come to work, we're having audit. You don't come to this place, we're having audit, or we're having visitor. This vendor don't come to our site throughout this week. We're having CEO visit. You are calculative. So you are managing, you are stage managing everything together. So proactive is you provide the right tools, you provide the right resources, you provide the system, you provide the training, you provide uh, a better employee engagement. But you have to always remind them. Like the moment you stop talking about it, the moment you stop talking about it, it's you started seeing it goes back. So you have to be enforcing all the time, or enforce. You start tracking who is not using this, who is not using that. You become police. The HSC officers, HSC's team become police. They will be pursuing everybody up and down. Right? That is proactive. You have the right things. You are monitoring, you are tracking, right? You the hazard are reported, you do something about it. It is fine. Good practice. But the negative aspect of it is more of armor. You have to continue to enforce armor people, armor people, armor people, so that what you have put in place, that what will not go back to default setting. You now have generative. Generative is, it has now become the way of life for everybody. You don't have to pursue people to report hazard. You don't have to pursue people to wear their PPE. You don't have to pursue people to not to drive recklessly. You don't have to pursue people not to remove guards. You don't have to pursue people not to bypass safety devices. That is generative level. People have the power, right? They have the stop work authority to stop if it is not safe. How many of our organization can employees say, I have defective uh,
Further.
machine guarding, I cannot move further. You say,
Mm.
Ah, who employ you? So that is the generative level, and that kind of organization is called HR, high reliability organization. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. We have more questions dropping in, but I'm not sure we'll be able to attend to all the questions. We just pick a few more questions and then we round up. Okay, the next question says, let's assume I am the HSE officer of a company. I came across an unsafe work, and due to the nature of the danger, I ordered a stop work and mentioned that safety should be put in place and all that. Then the manager asked his employees to continue working and ignore the stop work order. So what is the best way to handle this situation?
Okay. So number one, there is something has first of all failed, right? In managing any system, there must first of all be what we call leadership commitment, right? First thing that failed, there is no leadership commitment, which is why you will see a manager saying, no, go ahead, nothing will happen. Why? Because he knows there is no consequence for that. The best bet to undo it, right? I don't know the level of the person. You try to engage, you engage the manager. And sometimes I always advise the team in many cases that before you implement or when you want to implement, there is right step you should follow. You should not do it in a draconian way. I'm the safety. Oh yeah, everybody come down. Hey, hey. In behavioral based safety, right? There is an approach you use to approach people that are working there to call their attention that this is the consequence of the action you are doing. I don't know if you understand. Some I've seen scenarios just say, yeah, stop work, everybody stop work. The guy will be like, though sometimes it's because of the culture. They are not mature to that level where you have everybody is just hammering everybody. Everybody just want to play authority over everybody. So the best bet is always first of all engage and document. Don't overlook it. Don't be confrontational because he is a manager, and when they will review, you will not be there. Right? So the best bet is you escalate. Don't be confrontational when you want to implement stop work authority. Don't fight. Engage them professionally. This is again so. Because of this, you are being exposed to drawing in into the machine and it can cause loss of life. So please, this needs to be addressed immediately now. Please stop running. Because of the employees, the people managing the equipment, they do not have that authority, right? There is no commitment from the leaders that say it is part of your responsibility that when a gap is identified, whether it's fully established or not, and they ask you to stop the equipment to check, you have to obey. That's why it is beyond that manager. If you get confrontational with the manager, it does not solve any problem. It does not, because it is a culture. It has to go to the management to address. So engage professionally, report, and follow through. So that's the three key things. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I'm also learning. I'm also learning from this. Okay, we have another question here. It says, how can workers be constantly conscious of safety practice on daily basis? Can safety training be demystified?
Okay. There is a reason why when you want to employ, right? When you want to employ, there are criteria you have to meet before the organization can consider you employable into their system. And those criteria, part of it is being able to teach someone that is teachable, right? That's why building a safety culture is not starting on the shop floor. It starts from the back end, the kind of people you employ. We know we have skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled labor, and there is different communication method in terms of training, creating awareness, so that they will understand that this is in the best choice for them. So not to have complacency, right? Not to have complacency, and that's why we have training, we have refresher training, we have continuous awareness, we have involvement. People do always remove that aspect. When employees are involved, right? They have this self-belief of inclusivity, that they are included in decision making. So if you are part of the decision maker and we want to implement, will you want to violate what you are part of the people that recommend it? So shaping safety culture, I will always say it, is not only on the shop floor. It starts from when you start bringing in employees, the type of employees you want to bring in. When you bring in, when you brought them in, the kind of training you give to them, you onboard them to let them see the vision, the mission of the culture of the organization. We are not encouraging this. This is what we want to achieve. This is what we are looking forward from you, your own personal responsibilities. If you ask any organization that how many of organization do has employee responsibility that is identified with health and safety, you see that the response will always very minimal, because most employee are not embodied as that these are your primary responsibility, your contribution to health and safety culture in this organization. So this is attached to you. Training is part, refresher is part, giving them the power is also part. Because if you have the knowledge and you don't have the power to implement it, it will be demystified. So it's not one point, it's a link. Safety culture is a link. You have to continue to build it, link them together. You cannot jump one and go ahead. You cannot, someone that do not understand English, onboard him with English language. And you said he misbehaving. He will misbehave, yes, because he did not learn anything from what you have used to onboard him. Strategic communication, how do you do it? Are you doing it at all? So these are the best ways to ensure that employees have the right training, the right capability. When you say capability, there are a lot of things inside capabilities. Your skill sets, your behavioral aspects, your previous experiences, your education level. That's what comprises your employees' capabilities. So not just about I went to school. Yes, you went to school. What's your culture? What's your experience like? Where are you coming from? So that I'll be able to know how to mold the person, how to mold the employees. And it has to be institutionalized so that it will be continuum. When employee comes, any employee that comes, they follow the same process. And that's how we can ensure that employee do not demystify the safety culture.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for this response. Looking at another question here that says, as a polymer and textile engineering graduate, how can I become a safety professional?
Okay.
So this person is a graduate and wants to know how he can become a safety
A
professional.
safety professional.
Yeah.
Uh, Polymer and what? Engineering graduate.
Yes. Polymer and
Oh,
textile.
textile engineering.
Yes.
You're already part of us. Okay, so there are di different levels. You need to take on some courses, right? Start small. When I see prospective that want to venture into HSC, I always advise start small, then climb the ladder. Yes, you can start from ISPON, HSC level 2, level 3, get the understanding of what HSC is like. Volunteer, right? Join webinars like these. Volunteers to visit sites. When you see opportunities like that, do have the experience. When you go to sites, ask questions. I know some associations can join what's it called, the safety aspect of Nigerian Society of Engineers. They have graduate level. They go on site visits, and when you go on site visits, you'll be able to see uh, with your eyes what's going on in the industry. Be able to ask questions. The professional who are there will give you real life scenario. You see the real life scenario, and they'll be able to provide answers to you. It will also shape your learning and understanding of health and safety. So, but first thing first, you need to have a proper training, because to practice safety in Nigeria today, you have to, by law, you have to be a member of Institute of Safety Profession of Nigeria, so which is ISPON. No matter the state you are, I'm very sure they have a branch there. So you can reach out, we can link you up where you can have trainees so that you can start the journey. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for the response. And we'll go to the last question for today, which is, do we have an agency where organizations that fails to practice safety can be reported to? The reason is that we've had cases of some employees stating that their company doesn't have any HSE structure, and their lives are at risk, and nowhere to report. You can't report them to anybody. Nobody is saying anything. It's either you're doing the job at your risk or you walk away. No PPEs, no safety precautions, no signages. They all report to work, just work. You get injured, they treat you, you walk away. Either you continue working or you leave it. So I've had a few people asking, is there an agency where these organizations can be reported to, and actions
Yes.
can be
Yeah.
taken afterwards? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So I will answer this in two ways.
Okay.
right? The first one is we have agencies. We are being managed by Ministry of Labor. It now depends on the kind of Ministry of Labor is holistic, right? They
Okay.
have health and safety, they have environment, they have different form of section, equipment, certification for lifting and all that. So, and every organization is banned by Factories Act, which is an act by federal government under the Ministry of Labor. So if you have any concern, right, it can be reported to Ministry of Labor,
Mm.
right? Also, we also have NGOs, right? We have associations that you can report to, like ISPON, right? You can report to ISPON concerning health and safety in an organization, and they will take
Mhm.
it up, right? So why am I saying ISPON, use other agencies? We have seen scenario where anonymity do not remain anonymous. You know what I mean by that? So let's be very, very careful, right? On the way
Okay.
we handle a matter like that. So it is better you approach an institution like ISPON. They will be in the best bet to know how to take care of this. You can write to Ministry of Labor, no problem about that. They have links, they have emails, they have you can send a letter to them. Doesn't have to be addressed by you, can be anonymous. Send a letter through use delivery courier. You don't have to go there by yourself. Send through GIG courier or any form of couriers. Send the letter to them. They will receive it, they will acknowledge it, and they will work on it. Because I've seen them visit sites.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen them visit sites to investigate. And
Okay.
if that also depends on location of the what's it called? The organization. If you are in Lagos, right? If you are in Lagos, you can also report to Lagos Safety Commission if you are in Lagos. So you can report to LASEPA if it has to do with anything environmental or Ministry of Environment. All right. But
Okay.
for now, only Lagos has a safety commission. Others, they put them under their Ministry of Labor and Productivity or thereabout. So you can also reach out to them also. They will be, if you know that you want it to, state are more closer than the federals. Federal has the broader view and it might be easier to communicate to the states than to the this thing, but everything can go hand in hand. So just make
Okay.
it anonymous, write to them, they will work on it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I want to ask, is there a certain level of fine, or I don't want to use the word punishment. Is there a fine attached to a company that doesn't comply with safety?
Yes, there is fine, there is consequence. All
Okay.
right. Though some of the law are still call it still because if you see some of the fine, you'll be wondering in this year, in this 2025, we are still seeing
Okay.
100,000,
Oh,
50,000, 200,000. So what they complement it with is always the clause is always either or both. So they can say shut down, they can shut you down, and the ministry also has the power, right? And we also have industrial courts. They can take you, you can if they take you to industrial courts, they can measure the amount. They will measure
okay.
the amount of what you are supposed to pay, because there is a calculation for violation, right?
Okay.
What has been impacted, what are the damages you have incurred because of your action. So you
Okay.
have to pay for it. So then other additional consequences. They must say shut down because of it. They must say shut down for so period of time until you correct this. So we have seen, I know Lagos is very active on that, especially Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Environment. You infringe, they shut down. You infringe, they shut down. So there is always consequence. Right?
Okay. 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 All right. Thank you very much, sir. I'm really glad we were able to get answers to all our questions for today. And thank you very much for joining us. We're glad to have you here with us. All right. Our attendees, thank you very much for joining our Green Shield webinar today. We are glad to have you here with us. And to our returning attendees, you are the real MVPs. Okay, thank you all for joining us. This webinar was brought to you by Green Shield Safety, and Green Shield Safety is committed to ensuring the workplace safety of every Nigerian worker. We want to ensure that every Nigerian worker goes home safe to their families. Hence, we came up with this webinar to enlighten us. We learn every day. And there's a saying that learning comes from hearing and hearing over and over. So the more we hammer it, the more people get to know about safety. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Lukman from British American Tobacco has been here with us, and he has taken us through this process of learning alongside Mr. Michael Olawigi, who went to attend to an emergency. Okay, thank you all for joining us. And with me is Chike Annie, working at the background to ensure we stay afloat. Chike Annie, please say hello to our attendees and panelists. Hello, Chike, are you there?
Hello everyone. Thank you for attending. I hope you're able to gain value insights as I have. And we look forward to seeing you to the more webinars we'll hold. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much, Chike. Thank you. He's been the one handling the back end of this webinar, and we are glad to have everybody here with us. Okay, I would like us to follow our speakers for today on their LinkedIn profile. Please go to LinkedIn, follow our speakers, ensure you connect with them. I saw someone say he would like to have a mentorship discussion. So go to his LinkedIn page at Lukman Akintunde. It's very easy to identify. You can follow him and drop him a message there. He's going to respond. I'm sure he will do that. Okay. And you can also follow Green Shield Safety on all our social media platforms, from Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is X now, and Instagram. So you can follow us on all social media platforms. Webinar slides and recording will be sent across to you by next week. I don't want to say after the webinar. By next week, you're going to get the recordings and the slide. All right, thank you all for joining once again. My name is Kelechi and I'm representing Green Shield Safety. Till we'll see again for our next webinar in November. I'm sure that is going to be the best of the best. The best of the best. So we look forward to seeing you guys in November for our next webinar. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and it's bye from here.